Your ancestors? Any of House Targaryen?
We're not the sort of family to keep annals, Your Grace.
What is your name?
Adam. Of Hull.
Wait. Does this mean that I'm allowed to see myself as a black guy now? Howdy all, I'm Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and here we are, House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 7. Last week, I went off on a major rant because you know what? The show pissed me off. A lot of we're going to set up, no payoff. Well, a slightly different tune this week. This week's episode is an improvement over last week's episode. I'm not quite as angry, still a little bit bored, but not quite as angry because guess what? House of the Dragon actually does a really good job in maintaining my interest when you actually set something up in a single episode and actually pay it off without dragging it on. Now, don't get me wrong. There were still too many plots in this episode. There were at least an A, B, C, D, E, maybe even an F plot. Should have just been an A plot and a B plot. It would have been so much better. They could have cut 20 to 30 minutes out of this episode if they had just kept it simplified. And I know I'm hearing the whinings of, don't you understand setup? Don't you understand that everything has been set up to this point? Well, guess what? You may be right, but it's been sloppy. It hasn't been clean. There's been a problem with the setup. Because guess what? It could have been done, and we're talking about Hugh. I guess that's his name now. I didn't know his name was Hugh until today. Hugh's whole thing could have been done a lot better. Ulf's was better than Hugh's, but still could have been done a lot better up until now. Anyway, we're not going to dilly-dally. We're just going to go straight through all of this because I'm not going to waste my time and your time trying to break down stuff that is blatantly goddamn obvious. And let's be honest again, this episode is really all flash and bang. Here we go. Let's play with some dragons. Right, let's get the inconsequential shit out of the way first. Alicent goes back to nature, takes a swim in the lake so she's purifying herself because she's so tired of everything. Nothing matters. They have to get a line in real early about, oh, women, no matter how much we try to get anything in this world, they're going to take it away from us. Great, thanks. Bye, Alicent. That's your whole point in this episode. Back to nature. Have fun swimming in the lake. Let's see. Aegon and what's his name? I just call him Foot Fetish. Foot Fetish is going to keep trying to make sure that Aegon fights through his new disability, even though the High Maester wants him not to push him too hard. And guess what? That's it. That's their stuff. Boom. We're done. Oh, it's set up, Adam. It's set up. Well, guess what? Set it up later. We should have focused on two things and two things only in this episode. All things dragon riding and Damon's little B plot, because I guess we're making progress at Harrenhal. Let's get that one out of the way now, too. Over at Harrenhal, we know that old man Tully finally bit the big one, so here comes Tully the Younger back after Damon insulted him a little while ago, so Damon's going to welcome him and be like, oh, Lord Tully, I'm here, you're here, let's have a little discussion about now how you're going to raise your banners for my army. And let's be honest, this is a good scene. This is great stuff. Little dude who plays Tully the Younger and of course Matt Smith, they have great exchanges. And it's a perfect build-up to how Damon has been such a screw-up at trying to lead people in this instance that he has to now betray the people who backed him in the first place. What am I talking about? Well, all the River Lords are there. Tully the Younger is basically going, well, listen, I know I'm a kid, everybody. Can you just get behind me? Because I believe in the old ways. I believe in treating everybody fairly. And my family took an oath to support the Queen. So we're going to do that. And right as Damon thinks he's got it all in the bag, then this is good stuff. This is good stuff. Good writing, good delivery, good acting. Tully the Younger turns around and says, hey, but listen, all y'all, I know you're angry with Damon here. And the River Lords voice their anger. How can we support this monster who allowed these people to do monstrous things? Well, my Lord King Consort, He's polite with him. My lord, king consort, you're going to have to show us that you can be accountable for promoting barbarism. So they take, I forget who they are already. They take the dudes that supported Damon in their little mini bitch fight with each other, and he says, listen, Damon, dispense justice, and you have our banners. Show that you can admit you're wrong, and you have our banners. So what does Damon do? While the guy's bleeding, cuts his head off. Boom, it's done. Nice little tight scene. Excellent conclusion to excellent B plot. That's what a B plot is. It doesn't take up too much of your time, and you get it done, and you move on, and it sets up for a later thing. That's good setup and a proper conclusion to what's going on with Damon. But then they have to drag it out a little too long by having Damon go back to his room and have a waking vision of rotting Viserys telling him, oh, I never wanted the crown. It destroys everything it touches, but Damon, you always wanted it. You should have just stopped there. We don't need to keep doing Damon's losing his mind. You've done it enough. We can get away. At least Alice didn't show up and wham at him some more. Well, that's it for Damon. He's done. It was a good segment up until the let's get the more breaking of his mind apart thing. I personally don't think we needed that. They've already driven that point home over and over again. They just wanted to get Paddy Considine back in his CGI'd up Viserys rotting look so that Damon could be freaked out, I think. That's all they wanted to do. Anyway, all right. Here's the real story of this episode. The actual good story that sets up and pays off in a single moment. That's how you do it. Don't drag this shit out. We're talking about Rhaenyra's hunt for dragon riders. We pick up with her immediately after the end of last episode. She goes down to the beach to find Adam the Hull. I guess, can I be a black man now? Can I see myself as a black man because he has my name? Am I allowed to do that? Because that would be fun, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's the rules that certain people want to play by. If it has any sort of resemblance to you, to one person in any sort of way, you're allowed to see yourself in them. So can I see myself as a black man now? I just want to know. Anyway, back to the actual story. So she goes down there. Great little confrontation as she tries to find out who he is because she's shocked. She's shocked that Sea Foam, Sea Smoke, whatever the hell it's called, has chosen a low-born, a commoner, as the next rider. And it's a great little exchange where we know that Adam the Hull, all he's wanted is to rise up in his station. Not so much, I think, for his own glory, just because he wants to do more than his lot in life picking shells on the seashore. And he's ready to immediately serve. He just wants to serve. He wants to be useful. And that's a good little plot character arc there. He wants to be useful. He wants to earn a name for himself. Because he's a bastard. He's one of Corlys's bastards. The only thing is that he didn't get the white hair like his brother, so he's kind of can go overlooked about everything. So after a good exchange, the dragons are yelling at each other, this and that. And I'm going to make this commentary now. I'm probably going to get a lot of anger from some of the diehards out there, but I'm really not all that impressed by Game of Thrones dragons. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. They're basically dumb beasts. They're overgrown dogs is what they are. They have base level intelligence, and their whole thing is they'll accept a new master if they smell the right kind of blood. That's kind of it. These dragons have no real intelligence. They're basically beasts. And to me, that's kind of boring as a dragon. They look great. The designs, I've said I don't like the wing design, arm design thing, not my thing, but their actual coming to life on the screen look great. I like that. I'm impressed by it. Quality work. But I don't like Game of Thrones dragons. I find them to be weak dragons overall compared to more high fantasy type dragons. But this is dark, gritty, nihilistic, misery porn fantasy, so what do I know? It's not my deal. Right. So she's going to bring him in, and we're going to have a moment at the small council where everybody's complaining. How can we bring in low-born? How can we do this or that? Corlys says, hey, everybody, calm down. We'll see what the queen has to say about this. And now we get to have more Queen and the White Worm. I love it how, I wonder, I'm going to ask this point right now. was the everybody who had a brain in their head complained about the out of nowhere femme-tonguing kissing between Rhaenyra and the White Worm last week. Was that just queer baiting? Did they just queer bait everybody with that who really cares about that shit? Because right now it's as though it never happened. You didn't need that. That scene doesn't carry over to this week. So did you set up and queer bait lesbianism only to have it not remotely carry over this week? Because there's not even a hint of, oh my God, we were making out last week. We need to not get into it now. We can deal with it later. No, they just pretend that can never happen. That can never happen. So I'm gonna pose to you: did Hot D just queer bait? I don't know. We'll see. We got 3 episodes left. We'll see what happens. Right, so White Worm and Rhaenyra are now going to debate what do we do about Dragon Riders. And Rhaenyra wants to go the highborn route. I'm going to scour the records of lineage to find possible more matches. But then, of course, the White Worm being the master of all whores at one point in King's Landing, she'll say, hey, guess what? I know where all the bastards are. I can get every single goddamn bastard out there that your family has been hiding for several generations. I can get them all. Rhaenyra bitches and moans a little bit, but she quickly capitulates, goes, okay, fine, I'm going to lose this war if we don't get Dragon Riders. Get a great scene. It's a good scene of making sure that Corlys tells Alan to get this message into King's Landing no matter what. It's a message from the White Worm, and they gets it all the way to the White Worm's handmaiden, who then basically spreads the word. Rhaenyra, the queen, the one true queen, first of her name, is looking for dragon riders, people who have lineage to the Targaryens. If you are a bastard, we want you. So what does that mean? That means Hugh and Ulf get their storylines completed. Now, I'm going to be honest once again, because you're here for my honesty. You're not here for me to blow smoke up your ass. Hugh has had a meandering storyline all season. All we knew for all this time was that he's a blacksmith. And don't give me, but Adam, he had silver hair. All I saw was a middle-aged dude who grayed early. That's all I saw. I did not see a Targaryen bastard. Unlike Ulf, who he made pretty clear early on, I'm a Targaryen bastard. But suddenly, we get the revelation that Hugh is a Targaryen bastard, when all along in the season so far, it's just been he's the representative of the small folk, the plight of the small folk. This is why I'm saying here now, this entire season, with its narratives, its small little setups, it's sloppy. Some will say to me, and I've already had conversations outside of this, but Hugh was still interesting. It was good. He's been interesting. To me, to me it wasn't interesting. Because it was just, here's this dude representing the small folk. Why are we seeing him? Why do we wait now to learn about his Targaryen heritage? If we had known about his Targaryen heritage earlier on, just like we knew about Ulf's earlier on, complaining about how I'm a bastard, I'm a Targaryen bastard, it would make sense we're following him. It's not. It would be a coherent track of narrative storytelling. But no. Suddenly, he's not the representative of the small folk. He's one of the Targaryen bastards who is now destined to ride the dragons. You see what I'm talking about here? Hot D. Hot D has excellent writing, excellent acting, excellent casting, excellent production value, but the narratives of this story get lost in the jumble because they're trying to track too many separate characters. Too many times in episodes where it feels like it's nothing. All the Hugh stuff up until now felt like nothing to me. It was not, I didn't feel like they were going anywhere with it, and now suddenly this is where they were going, but they didn't properly lead me down that narrative path, at least for me. Remember, I don't read these books. I know nothing about the lore. People going, yeah, right, he was going to get Vermithor. You just got to wait, man. You got to wait. He was going to pay off. And I'm sitting here going, not hearing people saying Vermithor, but thinking, well, what's my setup for? Is he gonna? I thought all this time he was gonna be one of the people that leads a rebellion in King's Landing because his diverse family lost their daughter. And yes, I'm gonna point that out. Most of the time, I felt like he was being pushed forward so we could see his very diverse family. That's all I saw because this is 2024, and that's basically what you think when you're seeing white dude and brown chick and their little brown daughter who died. I thought they were going in a completely different direction. But no, he's going to use his anger as a small folk and now as a Targaryen bastard to get revenge on the Targaryen wing of the family that's currently ruining his life. They needed to be a cleaner path getting us to that Hugh is a Targaryen bastard. My thoughts, you don't have to agree with them. You just have to accept that I have them. Okay, so the word goes out. And now we've got dozens of men and women who are Targaryen bastards who are going to get in the boats and go to Dragonstone. Man, you gotta love that. The security in King's Landing must suck if they don't realize that you got dozens of people going to the beach at night to get on boats. Wow. Either the Gold Cloaks are not loyal at all to Aemond, or they're just bad at their goddamn jobs as Damon stopped being their commander. I'm just saying. Right. Meanwhile, back at the keep, where Rhaenyra now has to deal with Strongboy number 1, who's feeling really upset by the fact that here come all these lowborns. He's having an identity crisis hissy fit because he now brings it to her attention. I know who my father was. Let's not play these games. And what is my worth if now any other bastard who has silver hair, because I got my dark hair, what is my worth as your heir? If anybody can now claim a dragon, because that was the only thing that separated me. That was the thing that defined me. I knew I was a bastard, but I had a dragon. But now here come all these other bastards, some of them with even better lineage, because we know that Hugh has an even closer lineage to the rulers, to the previous rulers, than he does. So if these people coming in, what am I worth? And, Rhaenyra tries to talk him down, but clearly Strongboy number 1 is having some problems. And that's some good character work there. We appreciate it. It's showing that he's more than just wah. I'm going to try and go out on my own and earn my honor doing shit. He's having an actual crisis of identity, and that's good. I appreciate that. I give it a thumbs up. Here comes the good stuff, though. And here's where I'm saying, let's just get to this good stuff here, and the show delivers it in this one fell swoop. So everybody is at Dragonstone now. All these bastards are there. And we are now going to have the selection. And you're thinking to yourself, obviously, people going to get smoked. People are going to get roasted. There's no way these dozens of people are going to survive this day. Rhaenyra's going to come down, give them a speech about how you're all worthy. We all come from these things, and right now, I need your help because we can't win this war without you. And I know, she doesn't come quite out and say it. It's like, I know we're all related. But you have to understand that I'm going to ignore that part, and I'm just going to ask for your help, but you're going to ascend to greatness. You will be a dragon rider. And you're going to help bring peace to this war because guess what? Once we show that we got the muscle, that we got the big guns, we got the 24-inch pythons, brother. Once we come out with those, then Aemond is going to back off because we'll outnumber them in experienced big-ass dragons. And they all agree. They're all looking pretty afraid, but they're all going to go down. And they all go into the thing, and as they go, before they go in though, all the dragon keepers bail. They're like, "F you, Rhaenyra. We're not gonna have your heresy. The dragons are sacred. We're not gonna play your games." So they leave. So it's up to Rhaenyra to lead the march down there, where she summons Vermithor, the biggest dragon after Vhagar. It's a very cool scene, very well done. Where you have Vermithor just kind of marching in from the shadows, and Rhaenyra basically calms him down immediately, gets him under control so that he can understand it's a selection ceremony. You gotta behave for at least a minute, let them get close to you. And she looks around and says, "Okay, you're up, kids. Have a good time. I'm gonna go up to the balcony so I don't get burned to a crisp when he likely rejects all of you, because I don't think she has a lot of faith in them, which is why she bails. Because last time when Sea Smoke was doing his thing, she was right there and she nearly got burned. So that's why she f's off to the balcony to watch it all up. So some dude with a cock eye gets in there first, tries to touch Vermithor. Well, as I said, we all knew this was going to happen. Vermithor openly rejects all of them instantly. A lot of fire, a lot of screaming, a lot of scattering, a lot of crying, a lot of running, a lot of eating of people. A lot of eating of people by Vermithor. And in the midst of it, Ulf gets knocked off the platform and he scurries deeper into the caverns unknowingly as he flees. And Hugh also scurries into the immediate area where he gets, basically plays momentary protector to one of his kin, we'll call it, and then distracts Vermithor. I don't think necessarily to save her, but to kind of just say, I'm right here. Not I'm right here, look at me. I'm right here, choose me. And Vermithor bends the knee. He bends the knee, and now I believe his name is Hugh the Hammer. And we have now Hugh's storyline comes to a completion. But listen, I'm all for this dude being a dragon rider. I'm just going to go back and say I think they could have gotten here better throughout the season. My opinion. Ulf, meanwhile, has wandered deep into the cavern, has no idea where he is, accidentally steps in a clutch of dragon eggs, and wakes up, I believe Silverwing is the name of this one, and he thinks he's going to get eaten, but instead Silverwing just kind of moves him around, and you realize in that moment, oh, he's going to get this dragon. And there you go. Rhaenyra got her dragons. We will cut back to King's Landing where a bunch of just random shit is going down until suddenly, they're complaining. Well, what happens is the small council is going on. They're complaining about their inability to properly field the armies. They're worrying about the dragons on the other side, this and that. And suddenly you hear cries of terror outside, and Aemon will go out to the balcony and see, oh shit, there's Silverwing with Ulf flying around. Now, I first thought, did this dude just literally fly out here without receiving any orders? Because he seems to have barely any control over Silverwing. But it is, in fact, a calculated maneuver because Silverwing and Ulf were there to bait Aemon into going and rousing Vhagar to give chase. So Aemon gives chase on Vhagar and Silverwing all the way back to Dragonstone, and then he pulls up short when he realizes, oh shit, this is a flex by Rhaenyra, because then here comes Rhaenyra for a fantastic final shot of the episode. It's cool. Where you got Rhaenyra standing there on the shoreline looking defiant, and then here comes Vermithor. You could see Huon back, and then Silverwing takes a powder, landing on top of the keep, and then there's Cyrax right there. So it's a flex. It's the flex, and that's Rhaenyra's plan, to flex and say, I got more dragons than you do. Let's end this before I destroy everything. And that's the end of the episode. I do have a small criticism that I've been carrying for a few episodes now. I can see right now this is why they rushed Rhaenyra's redemption arc of, oh, now she's a capable leader and not a cock-hungry whore. I can see why they did this so that you can have this moment. I still say it was rushed. Rhaenyra's whole, I'm a good leader now. I'm actually going to think things through. I'm not going to be rash and abrasive. They spent too much time setting up other shit and not developing it this more so that it lands with me. It still doesn't quite land with me that Rhaenyra is suddenly so competent. Oh, Adam, but they're contrasting the fact that she never wanted the crown and Damon always wanted the crown, which is why she's suited for it and Damon isn't. Well, give us more of that. Give us more of that instead of just having her go and have a talky talk with Alicent in the temple and realizing that everything was a big mistake, and then suddenly she's a good leader, that she's capable, instead of being out of control and bitchy. That's all I'm asking for. Well, that's kind of it. I'm done. I got nothing else to say. I kind of laid it all out. I gave you what I like, what I didn't like, and I guess, are we going to get another major dragon battle this season? Is that what's getting set up here? Because, listen, the show gave me setup and payoff in a single episode. That's all I really want out of the show. Setup and payoff in a single episode. Dump everything that is required in one place so that I'm not left waiting and wanting and going, why am I wasting my time with this? The A plot of this was fantastic today. It worked. It had me more interested than I have been for the past couple of weeks. And now I kind of do want to see, are we going to go somewhere next week? Or are we just going to keep going back to, here's a little bit of big payoff, and now we're going to go back to moving the pieces on the chessboard again? Is that what we're going to get? Are we going to get the Battle of the Riverlands next week? Is that coming? I don't know if there is a Battle of the Riverlands, because Damon has all his troops now. He got the loyalty of the River Lords with Tully Jr. We know that Cole is marching a force up there. So are we going to get that? If that happens, great. Let's pay off and let's bring it into Damon's plot. Let's focus and not meander around multiple characters. Set things up in one place and pay it off in one place. Don't waste my time distracting me just to stretch out an episode. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. There we go. Thank you for watching this review. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you're angry at me, hit the like button. It's engagement either way. And if you had a good time, if you liked the cut of my jib, check out the rest of my channel. Subscribe to me right here on YouTube, where I hope to earn your trust and support using facts and logic, not fee-fees. So thank you again for watching. I'll see you next week. Until then, take it easy. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade, and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.